and Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
Hey, let's go. Thursday show, September 12th, 2024. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button, hit subscribe, tell a friend about Woodward Sports. Coming up on 70,000 subscribers on that platform. We absolutely appreciate each and every one of you. And to you, Braylon Edwards, good afternoon, my friend.
Appreciate it, Ryan and Monty. Indulge me for a second. I'm going to try something real quick, Maz and Ryan. Let me see how this thing works. Okay.
Let's see.
It's crazy. It's not on IG Live yet. I thought if I threw my phone that it would just go to IG Live, but instead you would have to slide once.
Oh my gosh.
Slide twice. Slide 3 times. And then hit this button.
Oh my god.
That is how you get on IG Live, and you guys know why I set that up time Maz away. I don't believe it.
Oh, poor Shannon. Shannon Sharp, baby.
Poor Shannon, my behind.
We'll chat about that coming up here any time now. That's a hell of a story.
By the way, just a quick look at X right now. Jason Whitlock. Many people feel I almost hesitate to say his name because he's such a lightning rod.
Can't stand him.
Right. Okay.
I think
every once in a while,
but
he's a good journalist.
But funny. Listen, who cares? We're not going to debate that right now.
Yeah.
Funny post. He was at like Burger King and had his phone like this on the cheeseburger, eating the cheeseburger, and it was funny. I think a lot of people now are going to
100%
Instagram Live their whatever.
I'm doing it right now.
That is funny AF. That is for sure. Tom Asway, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Oh, that's up, buddy. Good to see you. I'm trying to do a couple things at once, as you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, man. I love you guys, but I almost went to the game again today. I almost left you and went to the game today. I mean, what a day to be at the game. I predicted a no-hitter for Tarek Skubal today.
And what happened the minute you said that?
Someone hit a home run for the Rockies. So he's got a one-hitter, maybe a two-hitter right now. 1-0 right now. The rock pile leads it in the fourth. Tigers going for 5 in a row.
I got this IG Live thing running right now.
I got a notification that Braylon is live.
It's an accident, though, right?
Oh, my God. Oh, my gosh.
You have got to be kidding me. I know. I don't want to get into it now. We got to save it, but I can't wait till we talk about it.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
Pete Spivak is here. Silent Mike is here as well. KG will be back with us next Monday. A much-deserved vacation week for KG. You mentioned the Tigers, Maz, and Braylon, I would like to start with the Detroit Tigers. I do know they are playing right now, and I generally don't like to talk about the Tigers when they're playing, as just I'd like to give you a little bit of alternative programming.
We're the only show in town.
We are the only show in town. But as a point of, just conversation, one of the things that was trending last night on X was the announcement from Kirk Gibson and Jason Benetti that they were going to, and ultimately did, purchase 100 tickets to be picked up this morning at Will Call window number 16.
You guys got to cheer loud up there.
My goodness gracious.
I need you.
Don't let that guy come by.
I need you.
Here, sir, why don't you look at the schedule, please, and come back? That'd be great.
I heard I got a hot dog, too, with my ticket.
No, you don't get anything.
How about an ice cream?
You know.
How about a Scooba win?
You get a scuba win.
Can I shake your hand?
Yeah. Great to meet you.
You don't have to be scared.
Yes, I do have to be scared. That's why I have the glass in front of me.
Hey, let me in.
No! Get away from here, crazy mustache guy. It's weird through a window, but we'll do it. But nobody else will have this.
All right, thank you so much.
Have a good one. You're going to be like, this is the time where I met Jason Benetti in prison. Through the glass window. That's what it looks like.
So that was ultimately earlier this morning. Jason Benetti was working the window at Will Call 16. Kirk Gibson showed up, and there was a line. Obviously, those tickets were picked up and accounted for.
Free tickets to the people.
Free tickets for the people. And they did that because the last couple of nights, the crowds have been abysmal.
Yeah.
The announced crowd the other night was on Monday night. On Tuesday night was 18-8.
Yep, I was there.
And the announced crowd last night was 18-2. And Maz, you were there. There was not 18,000 people there.
Probably 15.
Yeah.
Probably 15. The upper deck was really sparse. The lower deck kind of filled in a little bit here and there towards about the third or fourth inning. But come on, guys. They're giving you great baseball right now. And the Orioles are coming to town tomorrow. Go to Comerica Park. It's Fiesta Tigres weekend. Get down there.
But the bottom line to me, Braylon, is I think, and again, I could be wrong about this, but I think this is a result of not being on television all summer long. Yes, there's big crowds on weekends. Yes, there's big crowds against the Red Sox and the Yankees. Yes, there will probably, I would think, be a big crowd
tomorrow night for sure.
Tomorrow night on a Friday night, I would absolutely think. There is no doubt this Tigers team is giving people a reason to go to the game. I love the Tigers. I watch the Tigers every night. I'm rooting for the Tigers. But I really believe the lack of crowds, the lack of buzz is a direct result of not being on television all summer long. There is very little connection to this team. There is very little connection to these players. In fact, if I walk down Woodward right now, where we are in Birmingham, and I asked people to name 5 Detroit Tigers, I'm not sure they could do that. I'm not sure they could name more than 5 Detroit Tigers. I just think it's out of the sphere of people's minds, especially kids back in school. Football season is upon us. They've missed Tiger baseball all summer long. And not only that, my friend, you still need an upgraded package on Xfinity to even get the Tigers. I know a lot of people that had Bally's before on Xfinity that do not currently have Bally's because they're not going to bump up to the next cable package. It's just
they can do that for free for another month. But then it's up to them if they want to keep it for the Red Wings and Pistons season.
And I'm not sure they even know that.
Correct.
To be honest
They probably
with you.
don't.
They probably don't.
They probably don't.
Just know that it's just another expense of something that they did have that has been taken away.
Look at us.
Yeah. Where we are right now.
Yeah.
At our Woodward Sports Studios, I cannot watch the Tigers because we don't have the cable package. We have just the basic cable.
We had the regular Bally's prior to.
Yes.
Come on, Jesse, get us together.
Right, but nonetheless, I understand. But nonetheless, we had it. Yeah. It was taken away. We no longer have it. I could be wrong about that, but I think the lack of crowds this is a direct reflection of that. It's like reading the end of the book or seeing the end of the movie without watching the entire plot and developing a relationship with the characters in the movie.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. You hit all the things, all the excuses, all the things that are good excuses. So I won't touch on that. I'll just take a different route. Tiger fans, the Tigers are showing up for you. We've been asking that the Tigers give you a playoff push. We've been asking that the Tigers show the young core. You want to see these guys start to play well. Well, that's what they're doing. The pitching staff. We talk so much about Flaherty. Should we have kept Flaherty? And yesterday, you and I both were in favor. 2 days ago, we were both in favor. Keeping Flaherty, keeping the move, having another ace.
Sweeney looks pretty good, but
I was just about to say, Maz, forget about Sweeney. Just look at what the Tigers' pitching has been. Tigers are number one in all the statistical categories that matter over the span of the last 2 months. The Tigers are now up 2-1. Another sign of the young guys. I'm pretty sure probably a young core guy that
Torque.
There you go, Torque, 100%. The guy we've been looking for. He came up, had a couple hits, subsided a little bit. But the Tigers are doing everything that we've been begging them to do. Parker Meadows got healthy, and boy, has he been a player last year.
Has he been good?
100%. Torque is trying to find ways. The pitching has been outstanding. Even if you keep Jack Flaherty, you're number one in WHIP, you're number one in ERA. Like, you're number one in all the statistical categories that matter. Having Sweeney as a young player, I think is boding well for him. He had his 10th home run today since he's been not 10th home run, 6th home run since he's been a Tiger.
Yeah.
But all the things are going well. So if you're a Detroit fan base, How did that Red Wings push make you feel at the end last year?
Oh, that was great
Like,
hockey.
the city was on fire. It
Yep.
was right after the Detroit Lions. We were looking for something else, and the Detroit Wings, they gave us it at the end. Now, we didn't get out. I mean, we didn't make it to the playoffs, but just to push, just to see the city where it was. Tigers are doing that similar thing. They're what? If they win today, they are 2.5, if I'm mistaken. They're 2.5 out.
Let me just say this too, Bray.
Support your team.
And just to be very clear here,
Yeah.
we're all in this room.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, everybody watching us right now is probably all in on this team.
Right.
But you can't watch.
It's not who we're talking about here. You know what I mean? If you're going to fill up a stadium, you have to do it with a casual sports fan as well. You know, for people who are actively trying to watch us right now on YouTube, they've already got you. The three of us, the five of us in this room, they've got us.
Mm-hmm.
That's not who I'm talking
I don't know
about.
about Mike.
Well, maybe not Mike.
Yeah, I don't know about
but you get the
music.
you get the point here, Maz.
Yeah.
If you're going to fill up stadiums, you have to have a casual observer, a casual sports fan that just wants to go have a great night at the ballpark and see some good baseball.
I push it. You know how much I push
Yeah.
it. And I tell all of my friends, I tell everyone I see, look, have you been down at the ballpark on a Friday night and gone up to the right field bar that used to be called K-Line's Corner? It's now Comerica Landing. It is the place to be, to quote a Seinfeld line. It literally is the place to be. Friday night games are amazing, and you get the fireworks after the game. And the way they're playing right now, you actually pay attention while you're up in that bar. Back in the day, they were just drinking, having a good time. Now you're actually hanging over and taking a look at the team. It is such a fun park. And next year, they are adding dugout suites. I didn't know if you guys knew this. There will be dugout suites like they have in Cleveland. And supposedly they're going to be great. They're taking 8 feet off of each dugout.
Wow.
They're cutting the dugouts 8 feet.
I wonder how the
And
season ticket holders there are going to feel about that.
those tickets, to buy in to those tickets, you need, from what I understand, you need a 5-year buy-in. Food and liquor included in those seats. They are making it the place to be. And this team is coming up at the right time. And I talked to Dan this morning, Dickerson, on his way to the park. And we're just talking about this team and the way they play. And he says, Tommy, can you imagine in the winter if they go out and they get a guy like Vladdy Guerrero? Vladdy Guerrero makes this team, he'd be like Pudge and Maglio Ordonez rolled into one. If you get a guy like him.
He gets you to the second round by himself.
Mid-20s.
Yeah.
He's a horse. He would own that park. Sure, you're going to have to put a hell of a package together, and it might include torque. It might include, cover your ears, Jackson Jobe. You need a superstar on this team next year.
Did you talk to him about my assessment about the Bally's?
No, I did not, right?
I would love to have seen.
If you had told me that ahead of time, I would have brought that up to him.
I would have loved to have gotten his take on that.
He's excited because you see they put him now on Twitter like they do Dan Miller.
Yeah.
And you see Dan, and he's the biggest baseball geek that you ever wanted to meet in a loving way. Love the guy. Nobody loves baseball like this guy. And he is just cheering just like us, just like Dan Miller does in the booth with Lomas Brown. It's a great thing to watch, guys. And this is a good team, man. They're close. Trust me. They're close.
Yeah, so much to talk about. You know, I'll stick with the Vladimir Guerrero thing real quick. You know, that's the offseason. Like, they're clamoring for a superstar. That's what this team is. You need your superstar. Pudge Rodriguez, when they made that move, it took that Detroit Tigers team to the next level. Eventually, they get to the World Series. When they need it, they got Miggy, they got Miguel Cabrera. That's a superstar. Took this team to the next level, got to the World Series. So they're clamoring for a superstar. They need that superstar. But in the meantime, before we get to the offseason, these young guys are starting to play, man. The guys in this team, they're starting to get a core. Riley Green, a guy that came on strong this season. We didn't know where Riley Green was going to be, and I don't think at the start of the season there was a ton of faith in him. Riley Green has been on track.
Certainly not a ton of faith in him to stay healthy because he's been so
100%.
injury prone over the course of his young career, but nonetheless.
Yeah, so, I mean, you know what I said. I said, look, I didn't think that they were going to make that postseason push this year. I didn't want to get all my hopes up, but I said that they couldn't disappoint me. I said I like what I'm seeing from them. I'm going to ride this wave out and be excited about it. Now I'm starting to turn, is there something there? I think there definitely is something there. Maybe this is our major league. I know we run that joke once a show, but this is starting to be something like Major League where as you're watching, it's just something special. Like, If AJ Hinch, if we get to the playoffs, is there a chance for AJ Hinch to win Manager of the Year?
100%.
Dan brought that up.
Okay.
No one's
100%.
talking about him. No one's talking about
If they get to
AJ
the playoffs,
Hinch.
how the heck
Hell yeah.
doesn't he win Manager of the Year?
With 2 starting pitchers, with a starting pitcher and a half, by the way.
Pitcher and a half, 100%.
You know, Cater Montero isn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't counted on earlier in the year.
And with that
27
being-
up, 27 down the other night, though.
Yeah, I know. Less than 100 pitches.
Yep.
That's one question. Here's the other question. They need to write a master class on what Chris Federer is doing. Chris Federer is doing with the pitching staff. If there needs to be something talked about, like he's got this pitching staff pitching unbelievable. I can't wait to see what happens next year. But right now, I'm tuned into the day as the Tigers are up 2-1 on the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah, it's so fun to watch these guys grow if you can watch them, though. And I just keep going back to that. I mean, there's people right now, us included, that do not have access to the Tigers game right now. It's really hard to be a fan of something you don't see. And that's what I think. Again, I talked to a guy at Fox 2 today, man. I hope I'm not spilling any beans. John Williams, one of our producers, great big sports fan.
Not the Bruiser?
Not the Bruiser.
All right.
The Bruiser was here shooting us earlier today. We had our Fox 2 pregame show to do our segment for us, so the Bruiser was here. But John Williams, great Fox 2 morning show producer, does the 11 a.m. show. He's a huge sports fan. And I had mentioned this on the 9 earlier today, and he's like, you just described me. You just described me. He's like, all summer long, I could not watch the Tigers. And still, he's like, now, okay, they're back on Bally's, but now it's football season. So I've been out so long already.
Yeah.
I'm not upgrading my package. I've moved on already. And I think that's one of the things that COVID did for us. COVID, when sports went away, when work went away, when restaurants went away, when activities went away, you learn to live without. And we now have become masters at learning to live without and being able to turn a page better than anybody. And if you give people a little bit of a out of sight, out of mind, people are going to take you up on that. And I think it was a big miss, man. I think it was a big miss that it went on for so long. So long. This isn't the NFL. You know, I mean, DirecTV, Bray, the NFL, ABC, there's ways to watch it. And I know there's ways to watch the Tigers. You can get the Bally Sports app. Yeah. I don't know, God bless Bally's, but that app was terrible. I experimented with it. I liked it. Then I didn't like it. I liked it. I didn't like it. It was, there was no consistency with the app as far as I'm concerned as a user. And, man, I just think people are learning to live without, and that is one of the reasons I think that you've had really sparse crowds there. 15,000 yesterday, 15,000 the night before.
By the way, let me talk about the app, the Bally's app. Next year, from what I understand, and Pete, it's like my last story on baseball.
Oh, you're fine.
At the end of the page.
Oh, you got it, buddy.
It's the Diamond Sports. You know, they're going into bankruptcy. They own Bally's. Well, it looks like Amazon is going to be buying that out. And Amazon will be having streaming next year for everybody. For all these people that had Bally's, it's going to be Amazon, and it's going to be an additional $20 a month. $20 additional a month to get the new Amazon streaming for baseball and, I guess, hockey and basketball. Anything that Diamond Sports, that Bally's had, from what I understand, and Pete, did you have that
Yep,
tweet?
I just threw it up there. Yep.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
Okay. From what I understand, it's going to be Amazon taking this over, but charging people out the yin-yang. $20 extra a month now, more than what we were paying before.
We just live in an expensive society right now. Everything is expensive. And in the streaming game right now, it just keeps taking on a life of its own. Like each year, they're adding more sports. They're taking away from more sports packages on cable networks. It's going to get to the point where each game is going to be streamed, whether it's hockey, whether it's baseball, whether it's basketball, whether it's football. Like what did it say? $778 is what it would cost this year if you want to watch every single NFL game. Like that's the NFL, which is king, but basketball will follow. Baseball seems to be following, and NHL. I mean, ESPN Plus? It's tough. It's a tough crapshoot right now.
I don't even know what I pay anymore, to be honest with you guys.
I don't think anybody does.
I'm lost right now how much I pay. I pay for cable, which is now DirecTV streaming. I pay for my internet through AT&T. By the way, I'm not happy with it. I pay for my phones through AT&T. Let me just continue on the TV brand. We got Netflix. I got ESPN Plus along with Disney Plus.
Peacock.
That's one package. I got Hulu.
Okay.
I got Apple TV. What other ones? Throw some other ones at me.
Hulu.
I said Hulu.
Disney
I have
Plus.
Paramount.
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus is with ESPN Plus.
Oh, okay.
Max.
That's the bundle.
Max, thank you. That's
is
another $12. Man, I'm afraid to add up what I say.
Skinamax.
And some of those
No Skinamax.
Remember you would like flick on it and it would be fuzzy, then you flick back, come back.
I got
Just to see a
Showtime
little
included in one of these apps. I don't even watch
bit.
Showtime.
I'm dating myself right now.
I love Ryan.
And some of these apps, you know what you do is you pay the year, so you only pay once and it's done, so you forget you paid for it already. Like I got 4 of those I do. It's $99.99. It's $129.99 for Disney. You pay that at the beginning of,
I see Aaron
your
Tackett.
start.
Maz, somebody said
I
Riley
see.
Green just made a big catch.
I know, big catch at the wall to save a 2-run homer.
Again, I say that as a point of order.
Yeah.
Can't watch it.
I know.
Can't see it.
I saw it, but I was talking.
There's no. This is a perfect example. I'm sitting here as a fan. Great.
I got it on here.
Awesome.
Saw it.
I would have loved to have seen it.
I've got to reevaluate my TV watching.
No, but do you understand what I'm trying to say here?
I do. I totally do.
So it
Out of sight, out of mind. I get it.
It is, man.
I get it. But you know what? You have live sports in Detroit. Go and see it.
Yeah.
Go down there and watch it.
And this
DK's
type
still a
of
fan,
stuff,
isn't
you know, all this paying all these different apps forces people like me to kind of search for these pirate sites. It forces people to actually, you know, put these pirate sites out there and break the law purposely. We want our football, we want our sports, we want our baseball, and if you're just going to continue to make us pay and overcharge and continue to keep raising the prices, we're just going to keep going around it. The internet's too big for you to beat us.
Those pirate sites, my bad, people. Those pirate sites, though, like, they're cool when everybody has access to the other options. Then it's less people on it. But now that everybody's going to the pirate sites, those things crash.
They buffer.
Right.
Exactly. They
Because
buffer and
everybody's on
they
it.
take, they take forever. Now it's like, well, great. Now I don't even have that. That's why you got to go to the park.
I remember one time, I think it was a Conor McGregor fight. I bought the Conor McGregor fight.
You sent it to me, I think.
And I just put my phone up.
Yeah.
And I just was like doing a Facebook
You
Live or
live-streamed
something.
it, yeah.
And I'll tell you, the majority, everybody was like, oh, they're going to kick you off. They're going to. We were up there for a while.
Yeah.
We were up there for a while.
I remember that night.
Yeah.
I live streamed WrestleMania and Instagram was like, nah. I guess I went Instagram Live.
Hey, Shannon Sharp, and he did that as well.
Gosh.
Should we talk about Shannon
Yeah,
Sharp?
let's do it. Do it right now in the next couple of minutes. So for those of
do
you
it.
that don't know, Shannon Sharp, big story yesterday, had an Instagram Live where he was having sex with a woman. And it was one of those things where it felt like his phone was thrown and it kind of lands. You can't see anything, but you hear him. And he went on.
And her.
And he went on ultimately with a tweet that said, my team and I are aware of the hack, and my team is working diligently to figure out what had happened. Ultimately, he came out and said, no, I was not hacked.
And then today he was on with Ocho Cinco.
Yeah.
On his podcast. Let's play the first one here first, Pete.
Okay, you got it, buddy.
Here's the apology.
The entire world to hear. I'm embarrassed for a number of reasons. People count on Shannon. Shay, there are a lot of people that count on Shannon to be professional at all
times. Go to
times.
Braylon here.
And I
Oh,
always
sorry,
try to
Mike.
be professional at all times. Even when I'm behind closed doors, I still try to remain a level of even when I'm behind closed doors, I still try to remain a level of professional, although I'm in the privacy of my own home. And I'm very disappointed in myself, not for the act. I think there are millions and billions of people of consenting age that engage in activities, but to have your most intimate detail on the audio to be heard, I'm disappointed in myself. I let her call them. I called my sister. My friends, obviously my friends reached out. But God, this was not staged. Came in, I threw my phone. Staged. Came in, I threw my phone on the bed. Engaged in an activity. I did not know IG Live. I've never been on IG Live. I've never turned IG Live on. So I don't know how it works. And so all of a sudden, my other phone is going off and people are calling me FaceTime that I've never talked to a day in my life on FaceTime. And it didn't, I'm like, why are y'all calling me FaceTime? And after a while, Jamie, and he says, Shannon, you on IG Live. I'm like, doing what? You know, I'm like, what am I on IG Live for? I ain't hit no IG Live button. He says, on IG Live for? I ain't hit no IG Live button. He says, they can hear. I'm like, so now, Ocho, you know, I say ask for patience. He said they can hear. And now I'm starting to get agitated again because you called me and say I'm on IG Live when I know I didn't click myself on IG Live. And he said they can hear me. I said, hear me doing what? He said, it sounds like you were having sex. Man, my heart sank. It dropped. I run my accounts, but Jordan being the good Samaritan, the good soldier that he is, Jordan the one that cut it off. Because hell, I didn't even know it was on. That he the entire world to hear.
You see the hat.
Cap.
You see what it is. This is Cap. Now, first of all, let me start here. There's nothing wrong with the act that he engaged in. He's a grown-ass man. He does not have a wife. This isn't infidelity, anything like that. Everything was fine on that, so it's not anything wrong with that. With that being said, this is Cap. This is Captain America. This is Captain Nunnerland. This is Stevie Y. Oh, Captain, my captain. He's capping. This is why I've never seen a sex tape on accident. Everybody that's ever done a sex tape, they put it out on purpose because it is for some type of financial gain or some type of putting you out there, whether it was Tom and Pammy, fake, whether it was Kim Kardashian and Ray J. We know
Paris Hilton.
We know who Paris Hilton. We know who set that up. That was Kim's mom that set that up. At the end of the day, this is Cap. Do you know,
even Hulk Hogan, by the way, even if he didn't put it out, he won a $100 million judgment from that.
100%. And that was too. What this was twofold. One, put the picture up, Pete. Put this picture up. This came out 4 months ago or so, and the internet tore his butt up. They had all type of homosexual jokes, gay jokes, whatever the politically correct term is for this conversation. They had all the jokes. And as an NFL man, played in the early 90s, and Shannon, who's always unk and swollen, this, that, and the third, that didn't go over so well. This was done in one instance to prove that he was a man, that he was heterosexual, if you will. Thing two, you know how hard it is to get on IG Live? I showed you that. You got to go through 3 steps. Yeah, you don't throw your, and then at the end, how you throw your phone on the bed for the last minute and 30 seconds of it? So you had your phone in your hand the whole time, but the last minute and 30 seconds where it looked like you ran out of breath, you throw your phone, it perfectly lands on IG Live. This was one, to prove that he was heterosexual, and two, when you watch this episode with him and Chad Ochocinco, he's flashing the sex company with the pills and the drink. He flashed that about 10 different times through the conversation. This was a moneymaker. I guarantee you he brought in this by Stephen A. Smith first. Last thing I'll say about it. Last thing. He says that he wanted to take the blame, right? He says, you know what? This isn't on anybody else's mask. This is on me. Ever since I got my platform, I didn't want people to speak for me. I wanted to come on and address issues as they happen. So this is on me. You know what? And actually, that was Jordan in the same sense that he says, I take full responsibility and I take the blame. He then says, well, actually, Jordan, my PR person, he's the one that went on IG Live. He's the one that stopped it. And then he's the one that put the tweet up that says, I got hacked. He blamed him for putting up, which basically says, I didn't put the message up that I got hacked. Yeah. I love it, but we know this is Cap. This is staged, as he says.
I want you guys to hear. It's a short segment. This is him talking with Chad Ochocinco.
We can bring it back. We can go to commercial and come back.
Here we go.
Situation like this, you try to make light of it. Nobody was harmed in the making of this audio.
No. Well, I don't know, except
you know, she might have had to put a little ice pack down there, but she good otherwise. Nope. You know, you play a hard game, you ice. Basketball players ice their knees, they ice their ankles, the elbows and stuff like that. Up and down football players. Okay.
Hey, she might be in the Epsom salt right now. Hey, she in the Epsom salt right now watching the show. Hey, Michelle. All right. Heal up, sweetie. Heal up.
This is why I said I'm not mad at it. I love it. It's funny. It's hilarious. But this was done on purpose. This was staged. And I guarantee you, Chad Ochocinco is not in on it. Like when you watch him, Chad is giving legit. Because he said I was disappointed on all the things. He didn't know what it was.
I think Miss Shelley did because they're making fun of Miss Shelley saying, heal up, put some ice on. I mean, come on.
Like this
What's
is
going on.
This
here?
is staged. The funniest thing was at Chad Ocho was like, I'm just happy it was a Michelle and not a Michael. And that goes back to what I said about the picture and about what it was. This was him proving his heterosexuality and that he was a man's man. But then also, he's getting paid off this.
Got a call from Cat Williams. I will say this. Last word on the sex thing. I don't know one celebrity that it didn't work out for in their favor.
No, not at all.
Even if it caused some sort of emotional trauma, perhaps, whatever, financially and what it did for their career, only up. So we'll say that. Unless somebody can give me an example of somebody that it didn't work out for. I can't think of one that it didn't work out for.
I agree 100%.
Hey, just before we go to our guest, 2-1 Tigers, top of the eighth.
Top of the eighth?
Top of the eighth. And top of the sixth, is it? Top of the sixth.
Put them glasses on, man.
I was going to say,
top of the sixth.
2:30, top of the eighth.
And Scooble, they're looking at his hand. They're looking at his thumb. I don't know what he did, but they're looking at his thumb. He's throwing some warm-up pitches right now. I'm just a little worried.
All right. Oh, very good.
I'm sorry. I had to get that off my chest.
Guys, we're going to keep rolling along here. We're going to switch it up, talking a little Lions and Bucks, a rematch of last January's divisional round matchup against those Bucks. And to help us do that, TJ Reeves, Bucks sideline reporter at Bucks Sideline Guy. TJ, how you doing, my friend? Thanks so much for the time.
I never know when I get brought onto these things which way it's going, and as that developed, I thought maybe the first question was going to be something on the lines of, have you ever done anything like this? So I'm glad that we're talking instead about the Lions and Buccaneers.
Right, no doubt. Well, I mean, TJ, that's for the playoff game. When the Lions and Bucks play in the playoffs again this year, maybe we'll ask you about any sex tapes that you may have out there.
First of all, you have to know this about me. I'm the straightest arrow that you can ever imagine. I'm the son of a Baptist preacher, by the way. So tread carefully here.
Those are usually the worst ones.
I do. Braylon, I was so hopeful about this Q&A. So,
I'm sorry.
The one point that you were making, that these things, are they ever unintentional, and is there such a thing as bad publicity, is an excellent point.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
I will leave you with that.
Appreciate
talking to you as well, man.
That.
I would like to go on record and say that at the beginning of this week, actually even last week, I told Maz, I said, Maz, we got to get TJ on. We got to get TJ on. And he was already ahead of me, but I just wanted you to know that I couldn't wait to talk to you.
Maz has been after me like Aiden Hutchinson is going to be after Baker Mayfield on Sunday. Maz
has
been
TJ.
for like 3 days.
You got it, brother.
I am. I have posted here.
We got you.
That is fantastic.
You're on YouTube Live, by the way.
Outstanding.
Hey, TJ, let's obviously get into it. I think, look, what Baker Mayfield has done in Tampa, I don't think a lot of people around the league expected him to come in and do what he's doing. Did people in Tampa expect this, or was this more of a hope? I mean, between, the playoffs last year and then even through week 1 this year, I mean, Tampa looked as good as any week 1 team in the NFL this year.
I think that's fair offensively, because they scored and scored and scored some more. The truthful answer is, I think most fans were skeptical. That's the word that I will use, about whether or not he was going to work out or not. Because again, this is post Tom Brady, who's now retired. This is a quarterback on a 1-year prove-it contract, $4 million contract, which is minimum wage in quarterback salaries. They make 10 times that now. Braylon, you played in the wrong era, brother.
Man, you ain't lying.
You should have been playing now.
You ain't lying.
Where you don't even have to be any good and you make $5 million. In any event,
Okay.
But in any event, back to Baker Mayfield, my line is, and this is the truth, he had been passed around, speaking of preachers, like the offering plate at church. He had been in Cleveland, he had been in Carolina, then the Rams at the end of the same season with Carolina, and then the Bucs within 3 football seasons. So I think there was a lot of skepticism. But the guy obviously delivered even at the beginning of last season with a huge road opening win at Minnesota, won again in the Superdome in week 3. I know they had a lull in the middle, but they won one key game after another. And I remember being on with you guys in January, and you kept asking me, hey, this team is on a roll at the end of the year. Went to Atlanta and won in the final minute. Went to Green Bay, where they had never won a December game in franchise history in numerous tries at Lambeau in December. And they won the game and then proceed to win the division and win a playoff game. So now you fast forward, I think there is a lot of optimism. Now there's a lot of expectation. And Baker is saying and doing all the right things so far about not just being the Buccaneer quarterback in 2024, but for years to come. He's got a real opportunity to put roots down here and be the guy. Really, for the first time in his career, this looks like the opportunity that could be his for several more years.
And he seems to be a guy that wears a chip on his shoulder, too. Even this year, I mean, if you look coming in, how many of the experts just automatically gave this division to the Atlanta Falcons with Kirk Cousins and everything they've got going on? Everything they've got going on over there in Atlanta, I feel like this is still the Bucs division to lose, is it not?
We have all been trying down here to figure out and understand, why would you back an Atlanta team with Kirk Cousins at 36 years of age off an Achilles injury? I submit it's one sample size, but look at Atlanta last week. They're going to be a work in progress. And I have much love for Raheem Morris, because remember, he was the Buccaneers coach long before he was the interim Atlanta coach and the Rams defensive coordinator, now back in Atlanta. Did Raheem's radio shows, his pregame and postgame stuff. But how can anybody objectively look at them putting pieces together with a new coaching staff and say that this is better than the pieces that the Buccaneers have with Mayfield, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rashad White in the backfield, Levante David in the middle of the defense? I know he's hurt, Braylon, but Antoine Winfield is fantastic. Now, he's hurt for this Lions game early, but if you look on paper at what the Buccaneers have coming back as the defending division champs, we haven't bought into that in West Central Florida here in this area. I don't think anybody's bought into, hey, they're chasing the Atlanta Falcons early on in this year.
Yeah, 100%. And last time I checked, the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. When's the last time the Falcons have been there? So I'm on par with you. Antoine Winfield not playing, Kalijah Kancey kind of questionable. So, but I'm not worried about that. That'll play itself out. Those guys that comes back, and they will be a good defense. I want to focus on the guy at the helm, Todd Bowles, kind of thrown away with the New York Jets. He comes down here, plays under, coaches under Bruce Arians, gets himself back together, takes over a team that we thought, Maz, last year that, hey, they're setting him up for failure.
Yep.
They'll have a losing season. They'll fire him. They're bringing in Baker Mayfield. He's going to have a losing season. This will be it for him. He'll become a backup, but not so fast. Todd Bowles has been authentic, and Todd Bowles has been very good in the last 19 games.
Yeah, I would agree with you. And they have rallied around him the same way they've rallied around Baker Mayfield, and he gets it. He understands. It's a young roster. On opening day, it was the second youngest roster in the NFL, believe it or not. Ooh. But that being said, you've got guys, again, like Evans, Godwin, the left tackle, Wirfs, Levante David, Vita Vea, the humongous defensive tackle, Winfield, Jamel Dean. They all won a Super Bowl, as you referenced. So you've got veterans that have done this before to help with the younger guys. And just some insight that last week during the game, Levante David on more than one occasion on the sideline or even out on the field had his arm around one of the younger players going, listen, you cannot do this or you've got to do that. And he's having to do that on the practice field, meeting room, etc., locker room, on going over with the younger guys. This is not college football anymore for some of them. This is the big time. This is the NFL. Here's how they call it. Here's what they are going to call, as best as any of us can tell. What are they going to call or not from the officiating? So he's really taken a leadership role. But I make the point, they have enough veteran pieces that won a Super Bowl over the Chiefs to sprinkle in with all the young guys. And Bowles, again, not only the coach of the Jets, Bowles was winning as the defensive coordinator previously with Arians at Arizona. Bowles has played in the National Football League. I know it's going back a little while. There's a lot of credibility with Todd Bowles, and in my world, he is fantastic to deal with. You know what we do? We root for guys who are fantastic to deal with. Keep winning and make the sideline guy, the interview guy's life a little easier. You love that?
I definitely love that, and I love the fact when you have a defensive-minded coach, when you get offense to play as well as this offense is playing, it's a scary situation. It's kind of like the Houston Texans, DeMeco Ryan, head coach, defensive guy, but that offense is rolling. That offense is rolling because of a guy that has been there that does not get enough credit, and that is Mike Evans. I have been lobbying for this guy for a very long time, saying, look, he's one of the top 7. Like, I never take him out of my top 7 because every year he's going to give you how many yards? He's going to give you how many touchdowns? Let's talk about what he's been in consistency and how he's able to do it. Because everybody knows, but he still somehow finds a way to get you that touchdown and 100 yards.
Yeah, he's been tremendous. And I know it's a 1-game sample size, but just go ask the Washington Commanders about whether just ask the Commanders whether number 13 can get open or not, and whether he can still make plays or not. He is, and he's double teamed a bunch. And I don't know how much the Lions are going to roll the safety over to him, probably, and double team him on Sunday to maybe open up something for some other guys. But he's facing those double teams and realizes I'm not going to get a lot of opportunity in single coverage. I've got to operate kind of underneath with the route running. In the red zone, he is a terror because of the long arms and the catch radius. You saw that in the playoff game last year where they went to him down around the red zone and around the goal line for a touchdown in the second half of the game. And I love this. I keep sharing this with everybody. If all things are equal and he ends up catching for 1,000 yards in an 11th straight season, here's the all-time NFL list of 11 straight 1,000-yard receiving seasons. Jerry Rice and potentially Mike Evans.
Wow.
That's a list to be on. There's the list. There's the list on a Thursday if Evans keeps going, and it tells you how good he's been, how consistent he's been, and let's see if it keeps up. He's a big key to the Buccaneers' success, not just this Sunday, but long term.
Some lists don't matter. That one does.
Hell yeah.
That's a pretty good list.
Yeah. Great
list. Where did you end up ranking in receiving? Oh, it's me and Jerry Rice.
Not bad.
Hall of Fame.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Hey, TJ Reeves joins us, Tampa Bay Buccaneers sideline guy, our good friend. By the way, our technical director, Pete, has your nameplate, TJ, in creamsicle and white. All right? So my favorite colors that the Tampa Bay Bucs wore of all time.
Yeah, I mean, and we were in the creamsicles, the Buccaneers, last year for the regular season game, and that didn't work out.
I know.
So that didn't work out so well with the cream. They have not won very much in the creamsicles. They'll put them on again this year, but I appreciate that. I appreciate the bowing to the old Bucco Bruce and the orange of the 70s, 80s, and early 90s.
To me, it's still the best logo ever. I love that logo. Loved it as a kid. Still love it today. But that brings me to the games that we've played against the Buccaneers. 2 games last year. Here it is, game number 3. It's hard to beat a team 3 straight times like this, especially, coming off of it. It's a tough game. It's a preseason game number 2, basically, for the Lions. They didn't play anybody in the preseason. So last week against the Rams, they had the rust on them. They finally got loose in the fourth quarter. So here come the Buccaneers. What can they take into this game, TJ, from last year's playoff loss? Is it a little easier to come in here now?
Well, I think you got a chip on your shoulder, number 1. Number 2, you knew Jared Goff. I mean, Jared Goff diced him up in the game in Tampa, and they gave him too much time to throw. He was 30 of 40 in that game. 30 of 40 is ridiculous, even without defense, like in practice, going 30 of 40. So I think what you take away here is the Bucs have got to do a better job in maybe varying it up. When they bring the blitz, you got to get home. Somebody's got to hit him. Somebody's got to sack him, because there were several times, especially in the playoff game, where they're bringing the 5th rusher, the 6th guy even, and nobody gets home. And now you're in big trouble because Goff suddenly finds somebody that's wide open because of that extra second where you didn't get to him and you didn't hit him. So that's something to watch here for this game. I'll tell you another thing. Can the Buccaneers establish something on the ground? What's different than January? Liam Cohen, the new offensive coordinator, who was with Sean McVay for numerous years in L.A. McVay was the play caller, but Cohen was the coordinator. They worked with Baker Mayfield at the end of that 2022 season for 5 games. That's one of the reasons why Cohen's a good fit with Mayfield here in Tampa Bay. So he wants to run the ball, and you've got a new, different zone blocking scheme, the bootleg, the zone runs. They ran it effectively at times. 1 game sample size against Washington. And you're right. I mean, Maz, the Bucs didn't play in the preseason either. The starters only played 1 series in the final game. So last week was like the full dress rehearsal almost that was an actual game. But let's see if the Bucs can run the ball some. They did not run it very well in either game with the Lions last year. Can they get the ground game going? And you're going to have fun watching this kid, Bucky Irving, out of Oregon, the rookie. He is small, number 7, puts that foot in the ground, though. Great cutback runner. He's going to be fun as a 1-2 punch with Rashad White if the Bucs can get the ground game going.
37 points last week. Not too bad for an opening act.
Only the New Orleans Saints scored more last week. You look at that NFC South. Is this the new?
It's the Wild West.
What this division?
Yeah,
My
you
goodness.
look at Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh looked like they weren't going to score 37 points if you left them in the building for 8 quarters, and yet they still won the game with Atlanta. Bucs didn't punt till late in the third quarter. They had scored 5 straight possessions to start the game. And again, I'll just emphasize, they want to run it and establish it. Who doesn't? Especially with the loud crowd early on in the game, try to move the chains, get the crowd out of the game a little bit, get an early score if they can, but set things up for later. Braylon, you can speak to this with play action, with the bootlegs. Again, this is a different offense for Dan Campbell's staff here to have to deal with, where they're looking to use bootleg, run action one way with the zone blocking, bootleg out the other way, throw it, or have Baker take off. There's more of that involved in this offense, and we've only seen a small sample of it so far. So this is going to be a fascinating chess match here in matchup number 3, like we keep talking about.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. I mean, you can just look at the Detroit Lions last year. The Detroit Lions, Jared Goff was outstanding in the passing game, but why were they so successful? It's because they could run the ball with David Montgomery as well.
Run the ball. Amen.
Hey, we won a national championship running the ball, so, hey, look, I get it. I definitely get it.
Run the ball. It sets everything else up.
Hey, TJ, I'll leave you with this. How's our guy Larry Foote doing over there in Tampa Bay?
Oh, the foot doctor.
We love him. We love everything with, again, these are personable guys that Todd Bowles has, and, it varies from coaching staff to coaching staff. And certainly when you win the division, as they have done now 3 years in a row, you make the playoffs, you win a playoff game last year. Everybody's enjoying this. It's interesting that Dave Canales took Harold Goodwin, one of the assistants, with him to Carolina.
It's a Michigan guy.
But Todd Bowles' staff is mostly intact, with the exception of new offensive coordinator, and they have a new special teams coordinator as well. But most of the staff, most of the assistants are intact, including Coach Foote. So, yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be loud. It's a 4 Advil game for me, 2 before, 2 after with the loud noise, because I'm getting older. My hand is up. But this will be a lot of fun. This will be a lot of fun to see what it looks like this time around. And I don't think it's oversimplifying things. If they give Jared Goff time to throw like what he had in the previous 2 meetings, it's big trouble. That is as big a key as anything in this game Sunday.
Is that big Harold Goodwin from University of Michigan?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah,
and then also with us and with Bruce Arians for many years. Correct.
Yeah, I played with his brother, Jonathan Goodwin. He played for the Saints, Pro Bowler for the Saints.
So there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, TJ,
it all comes back to Braylon. It all comes back to Braylon.
Hey, we wish you the Buccaneers were still in our division back in the old day. Then we could have talked to you twice a year at least, man. You're terrific. Thank you.
I still think we're getting them twice this year. I still think we're getting you twice this
Playoffs
year.
again?
January.
Let's go.
January.
Let's go.
That's
Hopefully in
right.
the second round, though. That means you would win that division again, maybe even, yeah. I like the second round.
TJ, can't thank you enough for your time, my friend. Enjoy Detroit. Not sure how much time you get to spend here, but have a Coney if you're here, okay?
We'll do it. You guys be well.
All right, my friend. You got it.
Thanks.
TJ Reeves on X at Bucks Sideline Guy. Check him out. Always great to catch up.
Remember the Bucks were in our division.
Absolutely.
The NFC North.
Love that. NFC Central.
The NFC Central Division.
The Norris. That's what Berman would call it.
In fact, remember the stat last year? Before the Lions won the division last year,
Bucks had won it more.
The Bucks had won the Lions division in a shorter period of time than the Lions won it.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, they had won it. Sure. I know what you mean. I just can't get the words.
I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
They won the division more recently than the Detroit
thank
Lions
you.
had won. They won.
That's why you went to Michigan.
Leave it to
Appreciate that.
Leave it to Braylon Edwards.
I'm on my game right
the
now.
wordsmith. He is absolutely on his game, no doubt about it. Guys, sticking with the Lions, I do think it's important here. DJ Reader says he's going to play this week, and I think that is going to be such a difference for so many players on the Detroit Lions. Obviously, we talk about Aiden Hutchinson, right? But what about Aleem McNeil? What about a guy like Alex Anzalone? Alex Anzalone had 13 tackles last week, 10 of them solo, and 3 tackles for loss. What is he going to do? What is that player going to do with a guy like DJ Reader playing in front of him? That one player affects so many others on that defense.
When you can get a guy, an interior guy like a DJ Reader, when you can get him, Maz, stay with me, when you can get that guy to hold up at the point of attack on that offensive lineman, now you don't allow the offensive lineman to get past them and get to that second level. You allow Alex Anzalone to float around and be free and move and go exactly where he wants to. That's what they want. That's what they expect out of DJ Reader. If you got Alex Anzalone, who already makes a ton of plays, now he doesn't have to worry about shedding an offensive lineman or getting off an offensive lineman blocking. He's going to be running around like a madman. Now for Aiden Hutchinson, the guy that we know has the hurries, we know he has the pressures, but we want to see the sacks. Now he's getting one-on-one. Now he's getting much more one-on-ones. And I don't care what you say about Aiden Hutchinson, what your thoughts are. You put him one-on-one with anybody in the league, he's going to win the majority of those matchups. So I think that's what we're hoping for DJ Reader. Any defensive end that has success in this league, whether it's Joey Bosa, whether it's TJ Watt, you name the guy, they got a guy in that interior that's wreaking havoc. That's what we hope DJ Reader will be for these Lions.
And then not to mention the back end, right? I mean, you talk about some of the guys on the back end, Terry and Arnold. When you don't have to cover guys for a longer period of time, it just makes everybody better. And I do think the pressures matter. I do think the hurries matter. But at the same time, and maybe I'll just look at some of the comments in the chat about this.
Yeah.
Are we too uber critical of Aiden Hutchinson because he doesn't get to the quarterback? Do we need to revisit that a little bit or no? Because I think we're more fair to Hutchinson than we are. It's almost like there are those players, okay? There are those players that if you demand more from them, it makes it appear that you are hating on them.
Yeah.
Look, we love Aiden Hutchinson. And I think I speak for you on this because I think we're in lockstep on this. When you are compared to some of the best in the league to have ever done it, really, in a generation, or even right now, my belief is that you must get to the quarterback. It's not enough for the hurries. It's not enough for the pressures. To me, that doesn't mean you can't be a great player, but when you're talking about being lumped in with TJ Watt or Nick Bosa or Myles Garrett or somebody like that, I just think that's a completely different conversation. Completely different conversation. And it's good to be the other guys too, don't get me wrong. Again, I feel like we're being reasonable and not haters. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Look, we're beyond reasonable. Look, when we talk about Aiden Hutchinson, how many times have we said over his career, hey, look, man, once he gets some consistent interior guys, man, he's really going to be a terror. What do we say? Hey, look, man, he's out there trying. He is getting the hurries. We've said these things, but it comes with the territory, Ryan. He got drafted 2nd overall. You don't draft the guy 2nd overall just to be an average guy. You don't draft the guy 2nd overall just to be a factor here and there in games. You draft the guy 2nd overall because you believe that he is a catalyst for that defense. If I'm drafting a guy 2 overall, he's got to be my best player on defense. And he's going to be my best player on defense, and I'm expecting the things out of him. You talk about a guy that broke the sack record at the University of Michigan with 15 sacks. He finished 2nd in the Heisman. He was drafted 2nd overall. His rookie year, he had 10 sacks, and he had 4 interceptions. First person to do that since Mike Ditka, I believe. Not Mike Ditka. He played tight end, but Dick Butkus. There you go. I was on the right team.
You were.
This is what he does. This is what he is, and this is what he's supposed to be. So we give him the grace in 2021. We give him the grace in 2022. Now we've got DJ Reader. We've got Davenport. This defensive line has Terrell Williams, the best defensive lineman coach we believe in the NFL. Now it's time to take that next step. This is what we want to see. You everything going for you. We believe in this guy, and I think he can make those plays. I don't think we're overcritical of him. I think we're honest. Like when you when you get mentioned with those players, when you're in the same line as players, you expect those players to do those things. So I don't think we're overly critical of Aiden Hutchinson. I just think we believe in him that he's one of those players. Now it's time to take that step.
He's going to have 2 sacks this week.
Yeah.
And he probably will. Yeah, and he probably will. And you just think, okay, year 1, 9.5 sacks. Year 2, 11.5 sacks. I think it's realistic for him to have 14 sacks this year. And if he doesn't have 14 sacks, I do think it's a little bit of a disappointing year for him.
You're probably right.
Like 19 sacks for T.J. Watt last year, 18.5 sacks for Nick Bosa the year before.
Myles Garrett, 19.5 last year.
Myles Garrett had 14 sacks last year, but missed a game. And Myles Garrett the year before in 22. Myles Garrett in 22 had 16 sacks. So you're talking about 30 sacks in 2 years. Myles Garrett's averaging 15 sacks a year. Nick Bosa averaging about 15 sacks a year. Last year he only had about 10.5, but the year before he's talking about 18.5 sacks to lead the NFL. This is a great play.
He's gonna get there.
I agree. This is, I think, what bothers us sometimes about Aiden Hutchinson is their lapses, their gaps in good games. I think Maz, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the biggest thing for Aiden Hutchinson? Like, he'll have one game, and then they won't have another big game for 4 games, and then another one.
That's the way it's been so far.
100%. But I think that's where we have the conversation. Like, look, it's okay. That has to change. We need to see you in every game. Every game you don't need to have a sack, but we need to feel the presence in every single game. We don't need to hear these storylines. How many games have the Lions played in where we're hearing, oh, they're going against the second string left tackle and the second string right guard? Was that the Seattle game? They didn't get to the quarterback. Like last week, 3 offensive linemen out, and we don't get a sack or we don't get the pressures until the end of the game, and kind of not garbage time because it still mattered, but at the end, we want to see him in 17 games. I want to see him. That's not too much to ask for.
Nope, not at
Now
all.
1 game on, 3 games off. 1 game on. Oh, you played against the backup. No. I got to see it every game.
They played against a wily veteran last week that get rid of the ball in under 3 seconds.
True.
Baker probably tried to do the same thing to him. Well, I think you'll see the same type of game as you saw last week, to be honest with you.
Yeah, potentially. Absolutely. So all that, and again, and I hope he gets 50. It's like talking about Aaron Judge. Maz, you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
What happened?
Cheap hit ties the game. No Scooble. They took him out in the 6th.
Scared the heck out of me.
Yeah. Dang it, Maz. Sorry.
That's why I said I wouldn't be disappointed. I'd be happy if they made it, but
I'm sorry.
Cheap
hit.
How is it a cheap hit? Describe it for the people.
Infield hit. Colt Keith had to go to his right for it. Slow runner. It just didn't. It was a slow hit ball. It was just 3 ugly, perfect hits by the Rockies. 1st and 3rd, 2 outs.
Dang. Well, they can still come back, Maz.
Yeah.
They can still come back.
They took Scooble out after 6 innings. So when I said he got hit in the wrist, there must have been a little something. Must have been sore at least.
Yeah. A little
Otherwise, he should go complete game against these bums.
Parker Meadows will win the game. Also, too, maybe they took him out. Maybe they want to save him. Maybe they want to use him again against, what is it, the Royals? Is coming up?
Baltimore's next, and the Royals. They'll use him against the Royals.
Yeah.
They need this game, though.
Yeah, they absolutely have to win this or the season's over.
Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you.
No, that's okay. Forgot what I was going to say, but that's okay. We'll go around the NFL. We'll do it next. But first, a message from Left Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. It's exactly what Les Stanford has done by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. They offer the same great service that customers have come to know and trust. Located in Ferndale on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. And if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn, where they have been on Michigan Avenue for over 55 years. You can find the brand you want under one umbrella, all GM brands under that umbrella. Check them out, LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com. Together, let's drive. While you're at it, drive on over to KDK Law. Check them out. Absolutely. If you are dealing with divorce, child custody, visitation, or family law issues, Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham will have your back. 10 plus years of experience, 24/7 availability. Scan the QR code today on your screen right now. And again, you may not need this number today, but you may need it in the future. Put it in your phone. 248-971-0476. 248-971-0476. Say Woodward Sports sent you. and KDK will pay your filing fee. KDK Law, they got your back.
And speaking of the law, what happens when you see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house tells the bad guys one thing. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring, and technology backed by people. This technology has been proven to work. These people have been proven to care. So call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you. Also, Woodward Sports is going to send you to the best pregame show on September 15th. Join us at Detroit's own second best bar located at 42 Watson Street for the ultimate fan experience. Enjoy some smooth Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey while catching the Woodward Sports pregame show only at the second best bar. Come get some.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out PremierPetSupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Oh, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Hey gang, dreaming of a new home but feeling a financial pinch? Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's $5,000. Call Mark White and Associates today, 248-290-8242. Check them out online, markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White and Associates today, 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
And now more than ever, it's critical for you to have your insurance reviewed, and Swiss Insurance will make sure that your carrier is not slipping in those extra fees. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today, 313-530-1698, or head to SwissINS.com.
Let me tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Stop in, sit back, relax. Let one of Lady Jane's talented stylists make you look and feel great. You could walk in anytime, 7 days a week. Lady Jane's. It's wicked awesome.
Montgomery runs with a chip. Knowing him as you do, where does that chip come from?
Life. Everyday life. Our history is really a flashlight for our future. If you know what I mean. He is a guy that has had to overcome several things in his life. He's been told that he wasn't good enough. He's been told that he wasn't big enough. He wasn't been told that he wasn't fast enough. And this was before he even got out of high school. So when you continue to hear some of those things, or you've been in situations to where you haven't been able to really capitalize, even though you've played at a great level, things haven't always gone your way. You get to a place where you can have some success. You want to make sure that it's not you, the reason that you're not having it. So that's why you see the edge, as we like to call it. And he gives us all edge. There's no doubt. I mean, probably the most similar people in the building is Dan and Demo. So those guys are great leaders for us, and the rest of us are just trying to make sure we hold up our end of the bargain.
And that was Lions running backs coach Scotty Montgomery talking about what drives David Montgomery. And this guy's been tremendous. In fact, he was obviously, I'm not sure you could run more angry if you tried in that overtime series.
They couldn't tackle him.
Absolutely, and they weren't going to. He just kept falling forward. Braylon Edwards, take a look at what Brian Baldinger had to say about this Lions final drive, how much they moved him off the ball, how angry David Montgomery ran, and then I want your take on it.
In overtime. What a thing of beauty. Ben Johnson has a lot to do with it. But watch this ball handling right here by Goff off this inside trap, and how casual this is. Rams are tackling Montgomery, but Raymond's on the edge. He's just looking for a whole bunch of Honolulu blue downfield to pick up 12 yards on first down. Now, right here, this side, Zeitler, Penei Sewell, Laporta is for Parker Hesse at fullback. Just line up, knock him off the ball, right? Look at this push right here. Like, all Montgomery needs is that split right there, right on the Lions logo. Now he goes beast mode. He just runs through tackles. 21 yards on the next play. And then you run the same play going to the left. Watch the double shift. Here comes Laporta. The exact same play. Here comes Hesse. You know what? It worked to the right. Maybe it'll work to the left. All right, here we go. Glasgow right here. Ragnow. Here they come. And there's a split right behind Penei Sewell. Of course, it's always behind Penei Sewell. They can't get him down to the ground. He refuses to be tackled. It's beast mode. Boom. All right, now you get this. After a short run and a pass, now we get this right here. This is like pulling up to the Burger King window and going, I want 2 double Whoppers, please, now. Because that's exactly what Montgomery's running behind. 2 double Whoppers inside. Beautiful football. Then you get this. Oh, it's like watching the black and blue division with Barry back in the day. Like, here it comes. Look at this push right here. Look at Zeitler and Sewell. It might be the strongest side in the entire NFL. Montgomery's sticking it in there. And then, could they finish the drive after that rugby scrum from the 1? Oh, yeah, they could. You just run right behind Highway 58. There he is. Like, just look at that. You could put your piano on his back. He carried up 8 flights of stairs. And, yeah, he's celebrating. Sewell likes it. She likes it. The Lions win. The Lions win in overtime, running it right down the Rams' throats.
She likes it.
Oh, my
she
God.
Likes it.
Highway 58.
I love when Baldy breaks anything down. That's why I had a chance to see him at Jets camp. And I told him, I said, look, man, we at Woodward Sports, man. We love when you do the breakdowns, especially on the Lions. But running backs like David Montgomery, they're always ready for those type of runs. They're always ready to be put in the game, smash mouth football, this offensive line. This is what they do best. This is identity football. You line a mano-a-mano, our offensive line versus your defensive line. What do you have? And the Rams didn't have anything in that overtime, and that's what we saw just now. I remember playing with Sean Green Pause. Like Sean Green, New York
S-H-O-N,
Jets.
Sean Green.
100%, man.
You
University.
don't see too many S-H-O-Ns.
No, you don't. Look at you. Good call on that. And University of Iowa, man, it didn't matter. When we put him in the game, Ryan, he was going to run somebody over. He was going to run.
You see an S-E-A-N, Sean Balegian.
You do. You see an S-H-A-W-N.
That's right.
But you don't see any Seans. No. But your Sean Green's a similar back. David Montgomery, man, these guys want the contact. They go looking for contact. Like if you watch Dave Montgomery, yeah, he's looking at the hole. He wants to hit the hole and hit the home run like he did against the Chargers. But he doesn't mind going there and looking for a linebacker, looking for a defensive end, looking for a safety. Lord help me if he finds a safety, because that guy's going to be over and his shoulder's going to be on fire. So love having guys like that, and you can switch it up. But it doesn't matter when you put David Montgomery in the game. He is a guy that is always going to be present. I go back to when he first got interviewed, when he first got here. Remember what he said. I don't care where they put me. I don't care where it goes. I don't care if I have to give water out to the team. I love what the guys are doing here, and I just want to be a part of something that's winning. Damn it if he wasn't telling a lie.
What a great duo they are, and they will be a trio before you know it, because Sione Vaki is going to get some play, no question about it. But what did I tell you on Sunday night, Ryan? I know you mentioned it on Monday. I'm like, I don't know why they went away from Montgomery. I don't know why. And they had a lot of 3-and-outs, and you didn't see him in the game. He played the beginning, didn't play anywhere in the middle, and then he played at the end. I think he's got to get more action. I think sitting out, Bray, you can tell me. Yeah. You sit out, don't you like fall asleep almost being on the sideline, being not part of the game plan? I know you got to stay, you know what I mean by falling asleep, but don't you got to be in there to stay active?
You know what's funny is I would have told you no, because I'm like, hey, man, this is what you do. You're ready to be a part of the team. Like, your number's going to get called. You want to make plays. That was coming from a guy that was starting. But when I went to the Seattle Seahawks, my second to last year, I was a third-string wide receiver, but I started the season, then became third, played the slot majority. Yep. Some of those games you're not in, and you get on the sideline, you stop paying attention, you sit down. Like, it's easy to get disengaged from the game. So I give the guys like David Montgomery a lot of credit that can stay engaged. Now, you ask why they went away from David Montgomery. Brian Schottenheimer was an offensive coordinator. I got hella nothing. Thank you. Yeah, 100%.
You love Marty. Don't like him.
I love Marty Schottenheimer, but you can boo Brian Schottenheimer. But with that being said, it took him a second. And sometimes, Maz, you want to get cute. Because what is an offensive coordinator ultimately trying to do, Ryan Ermanni? Wants to be a head coach.
That's right.
So a lot of times you want to get cute. You want to say, hey, look how smart I am. Look at how good my offense is. I'm going to make this thing work. I want to see Amon-Ra. I want to see Jameson. Let me go against that. Let me get Jahmyr Gibbs going. Sometimes you outthink yourself. And that's what Ben Johnson was able to do. In that overtime, he said, all right, cool. You know what? Look, I wanted to do some things. It didn't work. It's time to go with my bread and butter. What do I trust? I trust Zeitler. I trust Penei Sewell. I'm about to run right behind these guys, and I'm going to go to the right. So sometimes you try to do too much, Maz, but I guarantee you that's a conversation that Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson are going to have this week or already have had. They will correct it, and you just take it as it comes. Like, don't try to do too much. If it's not there, don't force it. And I remember that Chicago Bears game they almost lost, or that they did lose?
Oh, God, yeah.
And I said, what did I say before the week? I said, just go up there and play Detroit football. Don't try to get cute. Don't do that. It's outside. Run, smash, mouth. They didn't, and they lost. I think that overtime, I helped Ben Johnson this week.
All right, gang, coming up next, we're going to take a break. We went for 60 minutes without taking a break, okay? How about
Who does that?
I mean, we just...
Give the people what they
60 minutes.
60 minutes. We went for 60 minutes without a break, so I do have to catch up. Going to take a short break here. When we come back, we're going to talk a little Thursday Night Football, and we are going to debut a new Thursday segment.
Pete
Spivak has been on this same game parlay trail. And apparently, and I think Braylon can vouch for Pete on this.
Winner, chicken dinner.
He is apparently on this crazy streak where he's like, what are you clipping, like 70%, 80% right now? Somewhere like
75,
that.
80, yep.
Sounds like money in the
It's
pocket.
an incredible thing.
Shut up, man. Shut up, man.
It's a new segment. We're going to bring it to you. Pete's gonna, we'll talk about the Thursday Night Football game. We'll get Pete's take on it. We'll get Pete's same game parlay.
Do it.
Which means that it's an automatic loser tonight, by the way. But
oh my God.
We'll do that nonetheless. We'll do it next. But first, a message from us here at WSN, and we'd like to remind you, game day is this Sunday, and game day is unlike any other here on Woodward Sports. It is Woodward in Maine. Game day wake up with Woodward in Maine, your source for all the insider information. Insights from Detroit sports media legend Terry Foster, rising star Matt Broder. Get ready every Sunday, 8 a.m. to 9, Woodward in Maine, brought to you by our friends of Tangerine Space Machine, Taller Your Local Long Drink, Sabbath Coffee, and Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Also, the Lions pregame show, the New Holland Brewing Company Lions pregame show with Neil Rule and Sean Belegian, 10 a.m. to noon on Woodward Sports, live at Second Best Bar in Detroit, so you can head on down there as well. Second Best Bar in Detroit every Sunday. Home games live at the Second Best Bar, Detroit's #1 sports network. Woodward Sports, again, brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Taller Your Local Long Drink, and Sabbath Coffee. Don't forget about Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Woo! Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, baby. Let's go. So you've got Woodward in Maine and the New Holland Brewing Company Lions pregame show coming at you on Sunday.
And don't forget the best pet store in Michigan, hands down. It is PremierPetSupply.com. Check them out. Family owned and operated for over 30 years. 13 Metro Detroit locations, one right downtown, right by the stadiums. Get on down there. Over 60 brands of food at the lowest prices available. Curbside delivery and nutritionists on call. They will answer any questions you have about your beloved pet. So don't do it, man. You know what to do. Give your pet the best. Don't settle for less. It's PremierPetSupply.com.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward in Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the Instant Fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
Oh, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network. The countdown to kickoff is here. Your Detroit Lions are ready for another season of grit. Woodward Sports is your #1 destination for all breaking news and Lions coverage. We are Detroit's #1 sports network. We are Woodward Sports.
All right, now we come on here and we talk about Soroki's all the time, but what we don't tell you is that we eat it as well. Yesterday, they brought some of these new signature wings into the studio, and I had some, and I got to tell you, they weren't lying. These signature wings are fire. They got the teriyaki, they have the lemon pepper wings, they have the buffalo as well, and then they got a couple more flavors for you. I had that buffalo yesterday. It's football season. What are you doing? Why aren't you eating signature wings from Soroki's? Also, crispy chicken and pizza is what they specialize in with the fresh salad and the salad. You know the spiel by now. And don't forget the honey biscuits. And on Maz, they also have the fountain soda for you.
I can go for one right now.
I know.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I ain't lying. Soroki's is a real fan favorite. That's where you need to be right now. And after you eat these wings from Soroki, after you indulge in this pizza, you gotta go to Planet Fitness because your fitness is essential. With over 50 metropolitan Detroit locations, this is the best gym in the state. So you need to be there. Also, home of the squeaky clean gym. Check. Home of the judgment-free zone. Check. And every membership that you get comes equipped with a trainer as well. So I don't know about you guys, man. Soroki's first, and I'm going to Planet Fitness so I stay in shape.
All right, NFL Thursday Night Football tonight. Pretty darn good game, too. I mean, NFL primetime games have brought it so far this year. You've got
tired of our stuff from last year.
Absolutely. Buffalo on the road at Miami. Buffalo escaped with a win over the Arizona Cardinals this past weekend in week 1. Marvin Harrison was wide open. Could have ended the game for Arizona, but Kyler Murray didn't see him. Buffalo escapes by a final of 34-28. On the other hand, the Miami Dolphins, meantime, Miami had a really tough game with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think this had more to do with Jacksonville being a lot better defensively than a lot of people thought than it did.
They fumbled out of their end zone.
Not to knock Miami at all. A lot of people will look at that score and say, oh, Miami's not that good perhaps. But I think Jacksonville acquitted themselves pretty well on the defensive side of the football. So Miami wins 20-17 in week 1. Two teams 1-0 on the year. They do battle tonight. Miami a 2.5-point favorite against the Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo has won 11 of 12 against Miami. 11 of 12. And Pete, put up the numbers for Allen against Tua. Here, let's look at these numbers. Take a look at those, Rye.
This is last year.
This is last year's stats.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, pretty even, right? I mean, minus the total touchdowns. Total touchdowns, of course, for Josh Allen, a lot of rushing touchdowns as well. 15
rushing 3 or 4 touchdowns last Sunday.
Yeah.
3. I think he had 3 at least.
He had 3. This is my thoughts on the game. Look, it's going to be interesting. You know, which one of these Miami defenses show up. Like last week, the Miami defense got shredded by a pretty decent team in the Jacksonville Jaguars. But if they can get something going on defense, you know what they got in the offense. The offense came alive a little bit for those Dolphins in the second half. Just looking at the game, big picture, Josh Allen on the Buffalo Bills. He's doing everything for this team. He's playing the Superman role. And when he used to play the Superman role, what used to happen? Turnovers started happening. He would throw interceptions. He would take sacks. He would fumble the ball. Started to see a little bit of that early on in the game. I think they got to run the ball to help them. If they can get James Cook going, I think the Dolphins could be in trouble. But if they don't, and now you got Josh Allen trying to rush for 100 yards a game and also pass, it's going to be a long day, I think, for the Buffalo Bills, and I will go with the Dolphins.
Even though they've won 11 of 12 against them?
I like this Dolphins.
Those numbers don't lie, man.
Numbers don't lie, but this isn't the same Buffalo Bills defense. Their defense has been, in terms of players, there's no Poyer, there's no Hyde, there's no Von Miller playing at an elite clip. There's no they lost a lot of players in the offseason on that defense. And even on offense, Keon Coleman, former Michigan State wide receiver, Florida State transfer, where they're expecting him to be the guy, but he's not yet. And I think it's going to take time for them to get in their mode. Miami, I think, is a little closer to already being there, so that's why I like everything falls on Josh Allen. And that's never worked for the Buffalo Bills. When they had good defense and they had other players, that's when you saw the success of him going to overtime against Patrick Mahomes. But this right here, this is solely on Josh Allen's shoulders. And just for now, he hasn't shown me that he can take the bump for a full season.
48.5 is the number for the over. And I see a lot of people online liking the over in this game. How about you guys?
Well, you know, Thursday nights traditionally are an under night, right? I mean,
usually the teams are tired and they're just trying to get this game over with.
It's a tough night. You know, it's funny. You know,
I'm taking under.
Well, picks aside, okay, just look at these two teams. These are two teams that I downgraded this year. I don't personally, when we did our season predictions, I don't have either of them in the playoffs. And
I had the Dolphins winning.
Yeah. You know, I don't really feel like Miami, because of defensively, I don't think they're as good as they were a year ago. Offensively, I don't think they can keep up that pace what they did a year ago. And then Buffalo, what is Buffalo? You know,
that's been the question for 6 years. What is Buffalo?
I love this game because I think this is such an important game in the grand scheme of the season, right? I mean, I know it's only week 2, but you get these two teams. One of these teams probably is making the playoffs, even though I've got both of them out. One of these teams is making the playoffs. And to be honest with you, the team that wins tonight is probably going to get a playoff berth. I mean, it's week 2.
Yeah, it is week 2.
If one of these teams if one of these teams is going to win, because I still think the Jets are going to win the division.
They're the only winless team in the division.
I know.
Jets.
I still think the Jets are going to win the division. I'm not ready to put dirt on their grave yet.
No, you should.
So I think the Jets are going to win the division, and I don't think this division's getting 3 teams in, so it's only getting 1.
Yeah, I think I had the Jets as a 7th seed. Look, Aaron Rodgers still looked like Aaron Rodgers in a small window, a small visual clip. So I think that bodes well for the Jets. Hopefully they figure the rest out. But just looking at this game, Dolphins, the offense is there. I think, week 1, when you don't play in the preseason, when you don't play in the preseason, it takes a while to get out the blocks. You saw Jared Goff. You saw the Lions. They look like they had their feet stuck in the mud a little bit in the second half. So the Dolphins will get going. I just don't think Josh Allen has shown us enough to put it all on his shoulders. Because when you think of the Buffalo Bills, who are you thinking of?
Right.
James Cook?
Yeah.
You think 13 caught a touchdown last week. I didn't even know who that was. I was like, what? Is that dog? That's not.
Yeah.
What was it? The guy that got paid? Gabriel? Gabe Davis. It wasn't him.
Yeah, he's gone.
I know.
Want to thank Nick in the Super Chat. Just gifted 5 memberships here on Woodward Sports Chat.
Oh, appreciate you, man.
KMG King says Jets not winning the division. The Bills are winning the division. El Gato says, okay, Ryan, so who do you have winning the East? I still have the Jets. As long as Aaron Rodgers is on I think they'll right the ship. I will say, before we get to Pete, if the Jets lose this week and go to 0-2, Robert Saleh gets fired this week.
Can I make a comparison in terms of why I don't think the Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills will sustain, Ryan? It's a very similar situation to Lamar Jackson. Like Lamar Jackson, they put a lot on. He's running, he's passing. He gets beat up, he gets dinged. But you know what they can always fall back on? That defense is great. Every year that defense is great. So when Lamar Jackson isn't feeling it, or when they're not playing well on offense, or they can't score points, they still have a defense that is stout. They still have a defense that can win them games. That's what Buffalo Bills don't have. They don't have the players on offense, I don't think, yet. Outside of Keon Coleman, we got to see what happens. James Cook is an unproven starter at running back. If Josh Allen don't have a game, they don't have a defense to fall back on. They don't have other players to fall back on. It's all on Josh Allen. Lamar Jackson, similar quarterback. Yeah, he's reigning MVP. He's got 3 wide receivers. He's got 2 tight ends. He's got 2 running backs. And he's got a defense that's going to finish no less than 3rd. I don't think he can maintain that type. Talking about Josh Allen.
Thanks to Greg B in the chat as well for kicking in $5 to the Woodward chat. Appreciate you guys. And Jason Foley crapped the bed. They're down 3-2 in the night.
All right, good stuff there. Hey, Pete Spivak.
Yes, sir.
Let's send it over to you, my friend. And this brought to you by Caesar Sportsbook.
I appreciate that, guys. Yeah, I mean, let's talk a little gambling. Who doesn't want to talk a little gambling out there, guys? So just to give a little reference as to what my dear co-hosts Ryan and Bray were discussing, I am on quite a little hot streak. As a matter of fact, Braylon and I hooked up last night.
Yes, we did.
Just to give you guys a little sample of what's going on. Here was the baseball bet from last night that both Braylon and I did. I produced this one for Braylon. I went heavy on the Cubs-Dodgers game last night, as you can see. And then I was heavy on the Brewers' William Contreras to get a hit. But these are all bets for one single hit. Last night it hit, and Bray and I made some cash. Bray, what do you think about that one from last night?
100%. Anytime you put it in the chat, I'm going to bet it. I'm going to bet I trust you. I think I bet with Pete now 5 times. I think I've won 3 times. And he gave me 6 bets. And one of the bets he gave me, I did not post. He won, so I would have been 4 and 6. I trust Pete. I trust the bets. I think he makes them very methodically. I think he does his research. I think he's insightful. He looks at the track. He looks at what's been going on in the games before. So, and he keeps it simple. You know, we're not doing 10-leggers out here. You know,
I was just gonna say 4 out of 6 is a 67% clip. If you know anything about betting, if you're hitting it 67%,
you got something in the pocket.
That is damn good.
I appreciate it, boys. Well, on that note,
Maz and I are at about 32%.
Though, man? You got me edging my seat.
Well, yeah. Well, I tell you what. You know, we were all discussing about the different style of the Bills and the different style of the Dolphins. Right now, the defense is going to be a problem. So, here's one stat before I put up the bet for tonight.
Yeah, before you put up the bet, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir, young man.
When you make these,
yes, sir,
are you doing game theory in your head, like how you see the game going, or are you just picking?
No, I'm not just picking. I got to do research. There is math involved. Yes,
right.
I am seeing
so you're
the game.
Like, okay, I think the Dolphins are going to win by 2 touchdowns, so I base my Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's also based.
Whatever you think. I mean, I don't know what you think.
Well, there's quite an equation that I put through the process of my brain. I don't think we want to go to those dark depths.
No.
But but the thing is that basically it is based on how the players are used, based on how the game plan is operated by these offensive coordinators. Is basically how I look at it. So after our discussion tonight, Pete's pick is a 4-leg parlay this evening on your Caesars app. Go to your Caesars app right now, and before I do give the pick real quick, here is the barcode right above my head. Why don't you head to the Caesars right now, and why don't you scan that barcode? $1,000 as a bonus bet if your first bet loses. So check it out right now at Caesars and click that barcode across the QR code above my head. But here it comes. Here it is, the 4-leg parlay at plus 1,700 tonight, gentlemen. We are going to stay away from Tyreek Hill. Here is the stats of the evening according to Michael Fabiano of Sports Illustrated. In 7 career starts versus the Bills, Tyreek Hill has never had more than 82 receiving yards. Tonight, his over-under is 97.5. I just don't want to mess with something as silly as that. So we're going to go with Jalen Waddle. 64.5 receiving yards over. Also, I think that the Bills have a new weapon in Keon Coleman. I think that Keon Coleman is good for over 4 catches this evening. I think that Josh Allen is looking to throw the ball. He's going to look to find Keon Coleman. You know, Bray was asking about number 13, Mac Hollis. It's not going to be Mac Hollis who I'm going to be looking for. I'm going to be looking for Khalil Shakir. Over 40.5 receiving yards. He's the other side of Josh Allen. I think that he's gonna get the ball as well. And then we were mentioning James Cook. The offense all runs through James Cook. It's James Cook. James Cook. He is 100 plus tonight, both in receiving and rushing. Gentlemen, your thoughts?
So what do you got there? 17
plus 1,700. So my $17 bet here can yield you $302 for a $17 bet.
So this is because this is the first one we're doing. We need to keep a tally.
Yep,
okay?
I agree with you.
We need to keep a tally of amount wagered, amount won.
Yes,
okay,
I agree.
So you got that, Maz, and
100%.
So here we go. So 1781 wagered at plus 1,700. I used the 80. I had 81 cents, so that's
there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, of course,
gentlemen. That's your bet this evening.
You can't have sense.
Can't make sense.
Can't have any sense in there. I love it. Good job, Pete. All right, we'll
gentlemen.
Keep an eye on it tonight.
You want me to get you Stingray Steve's 10-team parlay now?
No.
Stingray Steve with his 10-team parlay?
I don't know what it is.
No, I know, but him and Jay always come up to me. Maz, I got 7 out of 10 last night. I got 8. I'm like, what are you betting 10 for?
You know what 7 out of 10 means?
You lost.
0-1.
0-1.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break. More coming up next. We got Dr. Pierce in the house as well. Dr. Pierce is, obviously, we'll talk about DJ Reader. DJ Reader expected back. Penei Sewell with a rolled ankle. What does that mean? He played the whole game, hasn't practiced this week just yet. Practice report comes out today at 4 o'clock. So we don't know what the situation is today. I believe I saw some of the reporters out there talking about how they haven't seen Penei Sewell working. So it looks like
he don't need to.
Yeah, just play the game. Just play.
Don't forget Jordan Love. What are they going to do with him? They not put him on the IR. That knee injury looked bad last week on Friday night, and they're going with Malik Willis. We'll talk about that, man. But Malik Willis' name is still in the NFL. And he's starting for the Packers. So
starting quarterback, Malik Willis.
I know my man Kirk in the chat has been busting my chops about Malik. So
probably
hi, Kirk.
The only time I'll ever root for the Packers to win a game.
There you go. There you go. And don't forget CMC, man. He's
back.
He's got issues.
Yeah, he's back, though. He said he's going to be ready to play.
Sure, he's ready.
Yep. All right.
Sure.
All that and more. But first, the message from our friends at the Boys and Girls Club of Southeast Michigan.
CMC may not be ready, but these kids are. It's time to put the youth back in youth sports. 3C Sports League, it's the best league going. The Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan's 3C Sports League, it offers ages 5 to 14. That's the youth age for you right there. 5 to 14, 6 exciting teams to choose from, whether it's Detroit, whether it's Belleville, whether it's Highland Park or East Point. Look, you want to get these kids involved. You see the teams, you got the Lions, the Gators, you got the Spartans, the Cardinals, and you got the Bulls as well. It's going to be cool. You know, we have them in all the time. We partner up and we love what they're doing for these kids in the city. Register for football or cheer at bgcsm.org. Equipment, meals, and everything will be provided. Now, the biggest thing is all coaches have a background check done on them as well as cheer coaches. So your kids are in good hands, and I mean that. Put the youth back in youth sports.
And if you're going to do some 3C sports, you might as well have some new Detroit sports merch to wear while you're playing. So check out shop.woodwardsports.com right now. Get that Boo Dem Kids t-shirt. Also the Stoke Not Scared. You might as well load up on your Lions gear because it's going to be a long, enjoyable season. So head to shop.woodwardsports.com right now and load up on the greatest Detroit sports merch around.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola, really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
Oh, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Any Lady Jane's haircuts for men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's haircuts for men, it's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
How would you like to play golf with a legend like Darren McCarty, Kirk Gibson, Calvin Johnson, or the great Braylon Edwards? It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Register today, and you could play like a VIP. Go to woodwardsports.com or scan the code on the screen above my head. And when it comes to your next car or truck, make the wise decision. It's Randy Wise.
You know what? After the Lions game, you got to tune in to the Stick and Anson New Holland Brewing Company post-game show. And one thing about Woodward Sports is we get the fans involved. You can jump in the comments. You can jump in the chat. You can even call in if you want to and argue with Anson, who you'll see on our show on Wednesdays. Brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine. Tangerine Space Machine, that's the way to go. The guys will give you their instant takes immediately. It's a fun time. You want to talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and how they got beat by the Lions? You want to listen to Stick and Anson post-game show.
All right, gang, welcome back. Woodward Sports, Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazaway, Pete Spivak with us, Silent Mike here as well. KG will be back with us next week on a much-deserved vacation. It is time now for our WSN Injury Insider. It's our weekly guest. On location today, the one, the only, the great Dr. Jeff Pierce. How you doing, Doc?
Good. How are you all doing?
Doing fantastic. Where are you, my friend? Let us in on the travels of one Dr. Pierce.
Well, I'm traveling between Jackson, Tennessee to back to Nashville. I'm at Loretta.
Are you in somebody's house?
Huh?
You in somebody's house? You camped out? You look kind of creepy now, Doc. What you doing?
I'm in the car.
It's a stakeout.
I couldn't make it back to Nashville in time. I had some business meetings in Jackson, and I thought I'd be able to make it back, and I made it halfway. So instead of changing my schedule, I'm keeping my schedule. But I'm near Loretta Lynn's Dude Ranch.
Okay.
So,
no kidding.
I saw her daughter on American Idol. Not her daughter. Her granddaughter was on American Idol this year. She actually got into the top 10. I did see that this past year.
Are you working on Loretta Lynn's back?
No, but I did run into Vince Gill at the airport on the plane.
Nice.
And I didn't realize it was Vince Gill, and they were all excited to see him and meet him, and then he was having some medical issues, so we're hopefully gonna help him out and get him in the right direction. So
excellent.
You never know what's gonna happen in my travel life around here.
No doubt. Hey, Doc, speaking of guys that are heading in the right direction, DJ Reader, we've talked about him at length over the last couple of weeks, coming back from the quad injury, and he says he will play this week. What do we expect from DJ Reader and the steadiness, the sturdiness, the health of that quad?
I kind of predicted. I wasn't sure. I gave him a 50-50 chance of playing in game 2, so it could prove me wrong, or I don't know if I was 51-49 in favor of, but I'll be surprised if he's full 100%. I mean, that quad, he's so powerful everywhere else. Hopefully he's going to compensate, but it's almost like we're going to see how he taps the ground, how he touches the ground. I came up with an analogy. It's like when you're walking to the bathroom in the dark and you just gingerly put your feet down on the ground instead of you're confident where you're going. So is he going to have that ginger walk like he's sneaking off to the bathroom or sneaking out of the room, or is he confidently pushing through with all his power? I think is really what we're going to be looking for. Is he playing full? Is he starting? Is he filling in? I'd be pleasantly happy if he has a real good game. I think it's going to be a little bit more. Let's see what he can do in the real action.
Hey, Doc, one of the biggest reasons, one of the biggest ways to get confidence is through the medical staff, it's through the doctors, it's through the training staff. I'm trying to figure out how to answer and word this question. Part of it is on the medical staff, right? So you want to make sure DJ Reader knows as a doctor, good, just go ahead. Everything is good. How do you convey that message to DJ Reader as a doctor, as a trainer, to maybe ease his mind a little bit so he can just say, all right, I'm going to just go for it?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest risk that we talked about, and you and I have talked about, is, Doc, what's the risk of re-injuring it, number one, 2, making it worse, and what about setbacks? What should I be feeling? What should I be looking for? And we're trying to train them, and you have that, that game day feedback, which cannot be replaced until you get into the game and you get into the trenches. Like a lot of times, I'm really worried, but you mentally it takes over. I'm in the game, and your memory banks, your muscle memory will take control. Your mental picture, like we have a psychological profile of how quickly that can go away. Usually it's the first player, it's the first quarter, it's the first half. But they start realizing, like we've talked about, I'm going to be okay. And he's got to get that feel. I think from a physiological standpoint, he's been out many numbers of days, and he should be healthy that way. Hopefully he had follow-up musculoskeletal ultrasounds to prove to him, yeah, everything looks healthy, everything's reattached. There's very limited inflammation around the injury. You should be good to go. So we give the blessing of it, but he's got to have the mental blessing of it too. And it's, like JMO, I think, took that extra time with his knee that we gave him they gave him the blessing, but he just had to prove it to himself too. So there's that mental picture that he's going to need to work through also.
Hey, Doc, I want to
what you were looking at?
Yeah, 100%.
Hey, Doc, going off the Lions for a minute, I want to go to the Bengals. And one of the best quarterbacks in the league is Joe Burrow.
Maybe.
Missed a lot of games last year with the wrist injury. Here he comes again. They lose game 1 to the Patriots. He is flexing his wrist back and forth the entire game. He does not look comfortable. Someone threw him a Gatorade bottle, and he hardly could grip that. How long is it going to take him to recover 100%?
Well, he's another guy that's going to fight through it mentally. He's got a mental toughness that we look for, and he's proven to have. So he might have come out prematurely and misled a few people, because that's a physiological response, right? When you're gripping the Gatorade bottle or trying to catch something at a reaction, and you're not performing like a smooth athlete, then there's true hesitation and issues with that physiological recovery. So now he's in that gray area where it's going to be hard to predict, because he's going to have a setback, from a healing standpoint, because it's not there. These guys are so precise with what they're doing. They know that feel. It's hard to compensate. He may have to start practicing how to short wrist it, not get that full power through the follow through of the wrist, and maybe, side arming and not going, staying within that 10 to 20 yards, not going for over 20 yards. So he doesn't need that extra push from the arm. So he'll make the adjustments. He just has to mentally understand he's not Superman, and he's got to listen to his body and not be afraid of it. So
going from the AFC North to the NFC North, the Packers. You saw last Friday night in Brazil, Jordan Love goes down on the last drive of the game. Looked like a terrible knee injury. Couldn't even hardly get off the field. Turns out it's some type of something with the MCL. They did not put him on the IR, which would have cost him 4 games. They're trying to work through. How long do you think it's going to take for him to recover? I don't even know how deep that injury is.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the film and we broke it down, it looked initially like an ankle injury where you take that impact on the ankle. But if you see, as the defender came into him, he was coming off his outside, which created that gapping on the inside of the knee. So it's the medial medial collateral ligament. So that's that ligament that goes from the inside of your knee from above and below the knee joint. So it stabilizes. So it gapped it. The good news is that he didn't tear it. So that's most likely why he wasn't put on the IR list and not sacrifice those 4 weeks. The initial report said he's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks.
Right.
I think now what I was predicting, right after it on Monday, Tuesday, was that it's a strain. There's no tear. So now it's his recovery in that secret sauce. So he could be functional in 2 to 3 weeks, trying to get under that 4 to 6 week time frame. So that's most likely what the docs are thinking, what he's feeling. And a knee you can brace, you can tape up, you can use the secret sauce to get through games. And he's so valuable, and I think he has a lot to prove this year. He wants to get back on that field. So I see him spending a lot of time in that training room and with their medical staff to kind of really push to get back on the field. So I think that's the big reason they didn't put him on that IR. They don't want to lose that 4 weeks, because he could be back in 2 to 3.
Aaron Rodgers go down last year with that Achilles. You actually saw the Achilles kind of snap. Same thing happened with Jordan Love's knee. You got to see it on the super slow-mo, how the knee moved. And I said, oh, my God, from the untrained eye, I'm like, phew, he's done. And I guess he's not. I'm happy that he's not. I hate to see the kid's season ended, even though we want the Lions to beat them.
Well, the bottom line is that's that youth factor.
Yep.
At 16 years younger, they got a little more spring in those joints. So a little bit more collagen, a little bit more spring. So I think that's the biggest reason. He's a tough kid. Aaron Rodgers is obviously tough. That was a terrible injury to him. But, you can't underestimate youth and, the pliability and, the flexibility of those bodies versus an older body, even in the football. Football years, they age more than a dog. So football years are equal to more than 7 years on the body. So you can figure that math out.
Hey, speaking of Rodgers, did you take a look at him on Monday? What did you think of his footwork? I mean, his arm is great. He could throw the ball. Did you see the same old Rodgers, or did you just see old Rodgers?
So you guys didn't laugh at my analogy, but I came up with it just for Aaron Rodgers. The way he was moving, you look at his footsteps, it's honestly like, some of us, you're in the dark, you're trying to get to the bathroom without turning the light on. You're just softly walking.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
So you don't hit anything.
Yep.
That's exactly how he looks. He's not planting his foot. He's tiptoeing. He's softly, you're not going to get it. But then, he did that a couple passes over 20. I think, what was that pass where he scored the touchdown up the middle?
Yeah, 50 yards.
25-yard pass. What's that?
I thought it was a 50-yarder on that dead play.
About 24.
Was it?
I'm just saying about 24, 25 yards.
He just looked like he was tiptoeing, like you said. That's a great call.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't feel like we looked at Gibbs. Like you guys were asking me, how do we know Gibbs is good? How do we know Aaron Rodgers is good? You looked at the way Gibbs played. He was powerful. He was explosive. He was, his foot speed was there. Everything was there. So when you're asking, like, what do we look for? That's a good education to the public, to the fantasy football guys. How are they moving? You look how they touch the ground. You look how powerful. You look how ginger they're walking. And if we can coin the, walking in the dark, gingerly walking, maybe that's our new concept for Woodward Sports. But I think that's a pretty good analogy of how you feel. A lot of people can relate to that.
Does he last?
That's how I saw it.
Does he last? Is he going to last?
I think Aaron Rodgers he's at a different mental place, good or bad. This guy is just he's on a different planet, to be simplified. I think he does, unless he has some terrible injury. That front line needs to protect him a lot better. They got to get their game a lot better, because he can't have, like, San Francisco's a great team. I think they're playing Tennessee next. They're fast. He's gonna have to react real quick, and he can do it. He's smart. I'm avoiding the prediction. I'd like to see him last, just because the guy, he's good, but will he be as productive? I don't think you're going to see the productivity. I don't have a lot of faith in the Jets doing well overall. And he's not the secret weapon to make it happen. I think, unfortunately, he's going to be like those other quarterbacks that leave the team they were with for many years and then just kind of fades away to a non-victorious, 500 at best, end of the season look.
I think you're right.
I mean, you guys know that stuff better than me outside of medical, but that's how I see it.
Hey, Doc, last one for you. Penei Sewell has not been practicing all week long. He rolled his ankle, apparently, in the first game. He did finish the game and was a beast in that game. Says it's more precautionary than anything else, but how lingering could a rolled ankle be?
Well, again, I hats off to Campbell and the medical staff for resting people appropriately. The guy's got the mental toughness. He doesn't need to be practicing. Every day that he's letting that ankle rest, the better it is for recovery and more powerful at game day. Can he get the secret sauce? Can he get taped up? We've been taping ankles, before all of us were born. That's just part of the game, and he's just playing part of the game, and I think well-preserved. He's not going to lose a step at his position. The guy's a beast. I think it's just precaution, rest, and, let's tape it up. Let's give him the secret sauce, get him through the game. Will he have lingering issues the whole season? Yeah, he's one of those guys that's, at the end of the season, Super Bowl or not, you're going to hear, yeah, my ankle was never 100%, but I gave 100%. And I think that's exactly what we'll hear from him. And hopefully we can play this back in 16 weeks or 18 weeks and say, yeah, you're accurate. But I've been with a lot of players that way, especially hockey. Hockey and football are right next to each other as far as toughness. And you hear about, yeah, my shoulder was never the same after preseason, but I'm playing. I'm playing on Sunday.
Dr. Jeff Pierce, Michigan Sports and Spine, everybody. We'll see you next Thursday, my friend.
Thanks, Doc.
Hey, wait. We're not done yet.
We're not.
I went to the Michigan game. And we got predictions out of both of you that were not accurate.
That's true. And I have said I have never been more wrong about a prediction in my life. They're going to be lucky to win 6 games.
Predictions out of who? I said Michigan was going to get beat. Smacked, if I recall.
I recall you giving me the hook and avoiding any type of prediction.
You did get the hook.
Well, I already said they was going to lose by 20, but you know what I'm saying. They lost by 19. I was close. Texas is a better team. What do you want me to say, man?
I'm here in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm taking abuse for your team.
Hey,
we like them this week, though.
All you got to tell people is currently, as it stands, Michigan is the national champ. I don't care about nothing else.
Champions.
The trophy is in Ann Arbor.
I tried that dialogue.
No, when is the last time the trophy has seen Tennessee? Don't worry, I'll tell you, 1999, so don't worry about those people.
I think 98.
98 season, 99.
Hey, we got 4 months left with the trophy.
I'll see you, Dr. Pierce. We'll talk to you next week.
See you, Doc.
All right.
All right. See you guys. Breaking us out of here, bud.
Appreciate
Tigers
you guys.
lose 4-2, by the way.
Appreciate you guys for tuning in to us and not them, as they lost anyway. But no, thank you for tuning in to Woodward Sports Network. That's Maz, as he is upset at his Tigers, who almost were 2.5 down. But you know what? Don't worry. Go see the Tigers. That's what we want you to do. Go see the Tigers and keep supporting us. Silent Mike, appreciate you. Peace, bye back. I put the money in on the bet.
Hey, boy.
I trust you, man.
Let's play
Uncle
some
Maz,
cash.
And then Ryan Ermanni.
Oh, love you, man.
Love you guys. We will see you mañana.